From a runaway Apple truck in California that spilled its entire cargo, and a speed demon in Virginia who nearly slid into a cop, to a tow truck driver who should have double-checked his rig, and much more. Here are the most idiotic drivers caught on camera. Northern Ohio gets pretty cold in the winter, meaning locals must be extra careful on the road. In Willoughby, a small city on Lake Erie, 2 drivers and a police officer learned that lesson the hard way. It was Christmas Day 2022. A Willoughby officer arrived to help a driver who had skidded off the road. He was smart enough not to trust oncoming traffic.
Hang tight. 16 radio, back there, it's got smashed. We need our unit.
The 63-year-old driver lost control and slammed into the patrol car. Their 2001 Toyota pickup couldn't handle the slick conditions. While the patrol car and truck were totaled, nobody got hurt during the crash. Over 70% of roads in the U.S. are located in snowy regions. That is, places that get at least 5 inches of snow each year. According to the Department of Transportation, about 1 in 4 weather-related accidents are due to snowy, slushy, or icy pavement. Do yourself a favor. When it's snowing, slow down. The Pacheco Pass is a mountain highway in Santa Clara County, California. It's located in the Diablo Mountain Range, which should tell you everything you need to know. In fact, there are several ghost stories associated with the Pacheco Pass. Let's just say it has a very accident-prone history. On November 28th of 2018, the Pacheco Pass claimed another victim. A trucker was driving along when he noticed congestion up ahead. There was an 18-wheeler pulled off to the side, but that wasn't the truck he needed to worry about.
Holy email server that facilitated the criminal exposure and mishandling.
Let's rewind a bit to see what happened here. Our trucker passed the Apple truck moments before it crashed. Notice how he's hugging the breakdown lane and keeps his hazard lights flashing. If we had to guess, the Apple truck experienced brake failure and lost control on the steep hill. According to some reports, our Apple trucker was trying to reach the nearby Runaway ramp. These emergency lanes are built on the sides of steep highways in the event of brake failure. Truckers can safely veer off and come to a stop in a sand pit. It's not always pretty, but it's safer than smashing into other cars. Thankfully, the Apple truck didn't hit any other cars, and the driver walked away unscathed. Wyoming, not to be confused with the state, is the second most populated city in western Michigan. With over 76,000 people, you're bound to have a few bad drivers in the bunch. On July 27th of 2018, Wyoming police found one of those drivers going the wrong way down Highway 131. Multiple calls came in about a wrong-way pickup truck. In fact, the truck nearly hit another officer who was taking a prisoner to jail. 2 other cops pulled onto the northbound side of US 131. They saw the truck heading toward them and positioned their cruiser to stop it.
Good. Take as many lanes as you can. Watch yourself, watch yourself.
We are going to set up like this. He's coming right at us right now.
Alright, we got him coming at us, dispatch. Watch yourself. Holy fuck.
Fuck.
You alright? Yep.
2014, certain matter.
Copy, got hit head on. We'll get medical started. Where you at?
This is 131.
Surprisingly, the crash wasn't enough to stop Scott Kloosterman, the 60-year-old drunk driver. His car eventually gave up after a few more miles, stopping near the M6 interchange. The sheriff's department said Scott was rushed to the hospital for minor injuries and then taken into custody. Thankfully, both officers only suffered a few bumps and bruises. Scott had a rap sheet full of drunk driving convictions. This latest stunt landed him in jail for between 12 and 60 months. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, more than half of all wrong-way accidents involve drunk drivers. They're usually over twice the legal limit. These next clips give new meaning to the phrase carpool. On March 3rd of 2023, a driver for the ride-sharing company Gojek pulled up to a condominium complex in Singapore. There was only one problem. The driver didn't know how to enter the complex. So they did what any hard-working person does. They forged their own path. Our Gojek driver pulls in, but instead of heading into the garage, they try to wiggle through a side area. You can't tell in the video, but the driver allegedly hit a few potted plants on either side of the path. Next, we cut to behind the complex, where you can see a small wading pool. The driver pulls up and a security guard approaches. We imagine the guard said something like, "You can't park here, dude." He tells the driver to back up, but he refuses to listen. Instead, he pulls around and lands nose first in the pool. He either didn't see it or thought his car could drive over the shallow end. Our next carpool comes courtesy of someone's Google Nest Cam. You might think this tow truck driver got fired on the spot, but there's more to this clip than meets the eye. Google Nest embodies a range of smart home products, things like speakers, alarms, and security cameras. According to Inverse magazine, Google staged several viral videos as an advertising campaign for their outdoor camera. A Google rep told Inverse that most of the videos are real. However, this one, along with a runaway lawnmower, was allegedly fake. The world is full of idiot drivers. Just ask this Russian trucker. While driving down the highway, someone in a black SUV thought it'd be a good idea to brake check him. Ah, the sweet sounds of an angry Russian man. To our trucker's credit, he had every right to be mad. It looks like the black SUV made a deliberate attempt to overtake the truck and then stop in front of him. Maybe they had prior beef. In the United States, brake checking is highly illegal. It's considered an aggressive or negligent driving practice that can have serious consequences. Unfortunately, it's very hard to prove brake checking caused an accident without video evidence. Most times, insurance companies blame the trailing car for not leaving enough space. Apparently, the city of Fairfax, Virginia has a real problem with bad teenage drivers. As of 2023, the police department has issued 62% more tickets for speeding, 98% more for violating traffic signals, and 181% more for distracted driving. On May 2nd of 2023, they added another to the list. A 13-year veteran officer was conducting a routine traffic stop. For his safety, he decided to stand on the passenger's side. Then, a horrifying sound caught his attention. He looked up and only had a split second to react. While it looks bad, we promise nobody was seriously injured. By some miracle, the speeding car narrowly missed the officer. He hopped over the guardrail and immediately checked on the other driver. The speeding vehicle was a BMW M3 driven by a 17-year-old kid and their 2 passengers. According to reports, they were driving well over 120 miles per hour and lost control as they came around the bend. Chief Kevin Davis wants parents to take this video as a lesson. Don't buy or help buy cars that your kids can't handle. In the Chief's words, the car involved in this collision was a whole lot of car. A whole lot of car for an inexperienced driver. If you head about 85 miles west of Salt Lake City, you'll arrive somewhere in Tooele County, Utah. It's home to over 72,000 people and one very brave police sergeant. On April 18th of 2023, several calls came into the sheriff's department about a wrong-way driver. A pickup truck was heading east in the westbound lane. The crowded highway meant something terrible was bound to happen. Trooper Chad McCoy didn't know the truck was barreling toward him until it was too late. So, he decided to risk his life to save others. Trooper McCoy heads west along I-80, unaware that danger is fast approaching. Suddenly, the car ahead of him veers into the middle lane, revealing headlights in the distance. McCoy positions his cruiser and braces for impact. It's either him or some innocent driver behind him. The truck hits McCoy's cruiser and then blocks the entire road. A concerned driver quickly hops out of his car to check on the officer. Thankfully, everyone involved only suffered a few minor injuries. McCoy didn't know about the driver because he had just crossed over from Salt Lake County, where he works. He had just finished his shift and was heading home for the night. Witnesses believe Trooper McCoy saved their lives. If he wasn't there to absorb the blow, the wrong-way driver could have seriously injured someone else. Well, that's all we have for you today, but if you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.